Yes, and welcome back to the End Time Prophetic News. And we have a lot of articles to look at this evening. So let's jump right into it. Coming up, one time we have Donald Trump offers devotion to Mary, acknowledging her on the feast of the Nativity of the Blessed Virgin Mary. So right now we are seeing where the evangelicals, because Donald Trump is very closely aligned to the evangelicals, and he is now paying homage to Mary. Very, very interesting. And the other story we have the church is applying a double standard regarding tithes redistribution when it comes to Conrad Vine. Very interesting developments. The Conrad Vine story. I think we have a few stories with Conrad Vine and talking about redistribution of tithes. Very interesting topic. The church is in flux at this time as far as I'm concerned. Right? Pope Francis tell Indonesian political authority, that the Catholic Church wishes to strengthen strengthen corporate strengthen cooperation with public institutions and other actors in civil society. So we are seeing here in this story that the Pope is now getting the Muslims in the Far East, in Indonesia and these places that has a vast Muslim population, he is putting them under his thumb. The same way he has put the Muslims under his thumb in the Middle East, he's putting those in the Far East nations, he's putting them under his thumb also. So that is just another daughter that is being um, bring back home, a daughter that is an apostasy, that is whoring, according to Revelation chapter 17. The Muslims over there are all in league with the Roman Catholic Church. It's all coming together, my friends. Right? In a national Canadian newspaper, a Catholic priest declares that Sunday is the Sabbath and that this day must take precedent over others. Right? So again, we keep seeing this popping up over and over and over. As I keep telling you, it's like a frog in warm water or frog in lukewarm water that is about to boil. The frog will be very comfortable in that nice warm water, and the frog will be slowly cooked and not realizing that the water is actually going to be boiling in a few moments. So we have to take heed of these stories. That's why I keep including them in the prophetic newscast, where they are saying that we have to take Sunday must take precedent over all others, right? So this we are seeing that they are going to be coming with the Sunday rest issue is going to be coming up on us very soon. The shot heard around the Adventist world. Now, 2 years ago, we all were convinced by our church, by the GC, that it's okay, right? And I think they would have included this vaccination business in a New Start acronym. When I went to the website and I did a live on that some time ago, you would have seen that it included vaccines, and I trusted my church and I took the vaccine. Right? A lot of people was of the opinion they're not taking that. Right? And now the pandemic is over, and my reason was, if they're saying that they're going to eliminate how much 100 million people from the earth with that shot, I said I don't mind, because I want to see my Father in heaven. And I also did a live and I said that if it is that Paul, on his missionary journey, when he was shipwrecked, a viper bit him and no harm became upon him, I reason within myself and within my family here that if even this thing is of ill intent, God will not allow anything to come upon his children. Right? However, there was a lot of people that did not respond to it, had issues, and they are now feeling betrayed by the General Conference. And this is what has caused Conrad Vine to sort of come out and talk what he's talking now. All right? So this is a very, very serious issue. There are a lot of us took the shot and nothing happened to us. Thank God. Right? And there are a lot of people that took the shot, and sometimes in some instances there was difference of opinion within the home. Some people did not make it with their spouses and so on. Some people lost jobs, and the conference did not stand up and say, hey, just as how they stand up for us with the Sabbath issue and freedom of conscience, it was not applied with the vaccine. So let's see how that goes. Right? Cancel culture within Adventism. Interview with Pastor James the Stallion. Right? So what we are seeing here is they are canceling Dr. Vine. Dr. Conrad Vine is being cancelled left, right, and center because of his stance of talking about a parachurch and talking about a parachurch and talking about a redistribution of tithes because of some of the ills that is facing the church. And the jury is still out on that, but a lot of people have a lot of opinions, and there's a lot of crosstalk going on all over the internet, all over YouTube right now. And we need to take heed of these things, and let's see how it goes. And we have to make up our minds and stay. You have to depend strongly on the Holy Spirit right now, because there are a lot of forces at play. There are a lot of things at play, and you have to sift through the information and make a correct decision, right? But they have cancelled Dr. Vine more or less, right? Back on the son-in-law issue again. According to a U.S. Catholic publication, the Blue Laws made it easier to worship on Sunday, and the state has a duty to protect this day. So again, we are seeing where they are continuously telling us that we need to enforce. What they are telling us in a nutshell is the son-in-law is going to be enforced eventually. And we know that as Seventh Adventist people, we know that, right? We know that eventually the evangelicals, right, are going to ask the Pope to give us Sunday. They will beg for it. And the Pope will certainly say yes, only take Sunday and make it an international day of rest. And the Pope is already pushing that agenda with COP26 and COP27 and COP28 and COP29 and so on, right? So in all of his documents, they keep saying that they need an Earth Sabbath, and we need to protect the Earth and so on and so forth, right? So we are seeing where all of these things are coming upon us, and it is featured almost every week in this prophetic newscast. This week, the prophetic news is a little bit longer because I have not been here because my wife and my mother were sick at the same time. So I had to devote some of my time to seeing about them. The Indonesian government official bows down to the Pope, right? So the whole of Indonesia is gone genuflexing to the Pope, right? That again is Bible, right? All the kings of industry, all the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. That is in Revelation chapter 17, prophecy being fulfilled again. Pastor Stephen Moore makes a statement about Conrad Vine's cancellation. And in my estimation, what he said made the matter worse. All right? What he said in that video there would have, in my estimation, I could be wrong, but I feel he probably made the matter a little bit worse, right? Because you cancel the guy, and then you come and you see what you said, and it didn't sound too correct from my perspective, right? The president of the Nicaragua accuses the Vatican of being part of a conglomerate of fascism that wants to rule the world, and that is facts, right? That is facts. In World War II, the Pope supported Mussolini, who was a fascist, right? And these people want world domination, right? If you notice in the story, there are set of flags all behind the Pope because the Pope wants to rule the world, right? Because Satan is in control of the Pope, and that is the power that is pushing the fascism, right? So that is what we have to look for and continually keep our eyes on the news to keep abreast of these things so that we will know when we have to run to the countryside and leave the cities and depend wholly and solely on Almighty God for our every sustenance. Pastor Stephen Ball reached out to Dr. Conrad Vine to rescind his speaking invitation. Right? So this is again where this whole debacle with Pastor Dr. Vine did a sermon a few weeks ago, and I published I did a live last Friday, the first live I've done since my wife have been sick. Right? I did a live last Friday addressing the matter. Right? It wasn't done to the normal standard, right? But because I was at my mother's place and all of that. But I just had to vent what was on my mind, right? And Doctor, this whole issue here is a burning issue within Adventism right now, right? Because he had banned Dr. Vine from speaking at an upcoming speaking engagement, and I have another clip coming up with that, yeah, where he cancelled Dr. Vine here. Dr. Vine was cancelled from the 2024 Secrets Unsealed Annual Summit, right? And a lot of people was up in arms because the main reason they were attending that summit is because Dr. Vine was going to be there, and I believe you had to pay to attend that function, and a lot of people withdrew their funds from it and so on. So all of that would have brought a lot of attention to what Dr. Conrad Vine is saying, right? Because in true and fact, some people are saying that the church is now in apostasy, and the offshoot people are having a field day with what is happening within the church right now, right? They are having a field day, right? So I don't advise anybody to leave the church, but if your local congregation, right, is not keeping up with what we're supposed to be doing, outreaching the people, preaching the children's message, and doing the will of God, and if they are going along the line of going down the wrong path, other pastors has come out in other camp meetings and they have said, come out of that church, find another Adventist church. You understand? So we are seeing now where Dr. Conrad Vine is almost saying almost the same thing, because there are churches that in America, I'm talking about, not in Trinidad, but that I know of in Trinidad, that are putting up gay banners. And I don't think we have that in this church. I mean, we have, I always talk about the example of a young man. I can't remember his name. I won't even call his name. But I really admire the way he changed his life. He came into a crusade we had in Queen's Park, Savannah, and he was a little bit effeminate. And I too was immature and stupid at the time, and I would have made laughed at him and so on. But he stood his course. He stood fast, and he submitted himself to God. And today he's one of the lead vocalists within the church. And you don't see, if you didn't know him then, you wouldn't know that he was of that nature back then. So I have seen the Holy Spirit change people that were of that, of being effeminate and so on. So I know that it can happen, right? But you can't tell me Dr. Vine is wrong when he is saying that you want to promote people that are and bring married people married homosexual people in the church. Nah, man, you have to draw the line somewhere, right? I am not saying I am in favor of everything Dr. Vine is saying, right? But what I'm saying is the leadership of the church, and Dr. Vine spoke about that. He said that we have to. He quoted the president when he said, take our leaders to account. And the problem we are seeing is, and that is how that happens in every church, the leadership of the church does not want to humble themselves when they are wrong. And that is what is going on with them and Dr. Conrad Vine. Right? Once they have power and authority, they don't want to give up the power and authority. And when you reach in that position, pride steps in And that's where pride coming before a fall. Right? So that's what is happening right now. They do not want to accept and say, well, watch me, this is wrong and that is wrong. We have to change that. That is not biblical. We cannot be saying be all inclusive and we not divisive. See that nonsense? Somebody commented on my YouTube page that what Conrad Vine was saying is divisive. God have standards. God do not change. God is immutable, right? So don't tell me that anybody is being divisive in the Adventist church. You have to have standards. We invite everybody to come in, whatever sin, and we do not say, well, this sin is bigger than the next sin, but we cannot leave a guy practicing a married homosexual and leave him in the office. In the same way, we cannot leave a young lady living common law, living shaka with a man, having sex with the man, making baby for the man, and leave she as superintendent of the church. It cannot happen. And it will not happen, and it should not happen. And for us to turn around now, to join up with the world, to be in apostasy with the world, to marry homosexual and lesbian people in the church, and allow these same kind of pastors to preach to us, that is not God's church. That is apostasy. Catholic priests, if her, Mary, eyes are upon you, your salvation is assured. If she turn her gaze from you, you are toast. Mary is dead. The dead know not anything. And I have to take this thing here and do a whole study or a whole video on the state of the dead. Because this is one of the end time deceptions that is coming up on the world concerning the state of the dead as we go move along. A major newspaper calls on society to take action and recover Sunday as the Lord's Day. Again, we are seeing this popping up over and over and over in almost all of these newscasts that they are promoting and pushing Sunday as a viable day of rest, as the Lord's Day, when the Bible tells you that Jesus was crucified on the cross on Friday, right? Good Friday, the Catholics call it, and then he's placed in the tomb Friday evening, and he rests there. He rests there the Friday evening and got up Sunday morning and started to do his what? His work. So we ought to work, follow Christ as our ultimate example, and work our first day of the week. Days of the week are Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday is the first day, Saturday is the seventh day. Don't get it twisted, my friends. Don't get it twisted. Satan wants worship. And to get worship, he gets it very easily. Go back to the Garden of Eden. He gets it very easily by deceiving you into believing you should disobey. And once you disobey Almighty God, you are showing loyalty to Satan. And that is why he wants us to worship on a Sunday. And that is why he's using the Catholic Church to promote Sunday worship, sun worship. Right? The Roman Catholic Cardinal invokes Pope Francis during an open prayer of a 2024 Democratic National Convention. So they're invoking the Pope now. Wow. Right? Donald Trump, Jesuits education. Now that's a headline in a story. I've not read the story. So apparently, 99.9% of all these presidents have had some sort of Jesuit training, right? And this is very dangerous because the Jesuits is the mysterious arm of the Catholic Church. And if you go and read Revelation 17, it will tell you Mystery Babylon, the Great, the mother of all harlots. Dr. Conrad Vine, remnant, respectable, or regime church. Conrad Vine issue is a very, very serious issue, my friends. And I don't know, I think that is a sign from God. I don't know, but it seemed to be a sign from God that this thing is now upon us. And I don't know if it's going to have some sort of a shaking or what. A Jesuit order claims that society has forgotten the joy of Sunday. leading to anxiety and unhappiness. So again, they keep pushing the agenda of Sunday secretness. It's there in your face, my friends. You see how many stories there are on Adventist Messenger alone. And I have not had time to go to Crocs. I haven't had time to go to Adventist.org and all these different places I pull the news from. Right? So just on Advent Messenger alone, you're seeing all of these articles popping up talking about restoring the Lord's Day. Right? Now, the Catholics are the vast majority of the people on earth, the Christians on earth are Catholics, yet they are talking about restoring the Sunday. Wow. Who really is showing true love? Moses or Aaron? Now, one the Advent messenger saying somebody there is in that the third is either Aaron and Dr. Vine is Moses. I'm not sure what they are implying, but it's a very interesting headline. And again, we are seeing this Conrad Vine issue. Two main issues are coming up in this week's newscast. Normally, the newscasts don't run so long, but as I told you, because I've not been here for a very long time, I decided to cover all the stories that I would have not covered for the time period, right? And the two major stories popping up here is Dr. Conrad Vine and the issues having the General Conference and Sunday secretness, right? Those are the two major topics going around Adventism at this time. So people take note, my friends, right? The cancellation of Dr. Vine has inferred as all of his servants, let me read that again. The cancellation of Dr. Vine has intensified as all of his sermons have been removed from the audio verse streaming platform. Again, we see the cancel culture continuing, where this audio verse, song doctrine, podcasting service, all of his sermons were removed. Right? So we're seeing where things are happening and why are they punishing the man so much? Why, see, to me, he's looking like a little Martin Luther. And the church is on his back. Let's be careful, my brethren. Let's be careful not to turn him into a martyr. Right? Let's be careful, my friends. It won't be a nice day to know that Dr. Conrad Vine is being turned into an Adventist martyr. Right? The foxes guarding the hen house. No vaccine, right? You know, when you say that word on YouTube, what has happened? Right? So, another headline we have coming up here. And that, my friends, would have brought us to the end of the news for this period. And I assure you, my friends, that I will be continuing to speak on the Dr. Vine issue, and I will continue with my Friday Nights Live as soon as my wife is back home from the hospital. She may be there about a week or so again, and she'll be back home. All right, so that is the newscast for this evening. And remember that we have to keep our eyes on the newscast and look at what is going on around us. One little bit of information I want to add here before I go. This week, a company started to issue cashless business in Trinidad and Tobago. And on my way down this evening, I saw a truck that marked up cashless. So the cashless society is also being rolled out. I was supposed to put in a little clipping in it there, but I forgot. Right? So we're seeing cashless. Everybody's going cashless. Even in the Caribbean here, in Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, all these different places, the buses in Jamaica is cashless. Now a lot of businesses in Trinidad is cashless. So in a few years' time, they are going to be able to implement the mark of the beast, because much of what we are doing will be cashless. Right? So my friends, please like, share, subscribe to this channel, Marcus Gonzalez Network, if you like the content here. I'm just a humble brother, brother Marcus, trying to do what I have to do for the Lord to spread His word. Okay? So over and out for now. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. And see you next time. Bye. Blessings. Yes, and welcome back to the End Time Prophetic News. And we have a lot of articles to look at this evening. So let's jump right into it. Coming up, one time we have Donald Trump offers devotion to Mary, acknowledging her on the Feast of the Nativity. Yes, and welcome back to the End Time Prophet. We have a lot of Yes, and welcome back to the End Time Prophetic News. And we have a lot of articles to look at this evening. So let's jump right into it. President over others. Right? So again, we keep seeing this popping up over and over and over. As I keep telling you, it's like a frog in warm water and a frog in lukewarm water that is about to boil. The frog will be very comfortable in that nice warm water, and the frog will be slowly cooked and not realizing that the cancellation of Dr. Vine has inferred as all of his servants. Sorry, let me read that again. The cancellation of Dr. Vine The cancellation of Dr. Vine has inferred as all of his servants. Sorry, let me read that again. Has inferred, right? The cancellation not covered for the time period, right? And the two major stories popping up here is Dr. Conrad Vine and the issues having the General Conference and Sunday's secretness, right? Those are the two major topics going around Adventism at this time. So people take note Take note, my friends. Right? The cat. Note, take note, my friends. The cancellation of Dr. Vine has intensified as all of his sermons have been removed from the audio verse streaming platform. Again, we see the cancel culture continuing where this audio verse song doctrine pop. And Dr. Vine is Moses. I am not sure what they are implying, but it's a very interesting headline. And again, we are seeing this Catholic cardinal invokes Pope Francis during an open prayer of a 2024 Democratic National Convention. So they're invoking the Pope now. Wow. Right? Donald Trump, Jesuits education. Now that's a headline in a story. I've not read the story. Yes, and welcome back to the End Time Prophetic News. And we have a lot of articles to look at this evening. So let's jump right into it. Coming up, one time we have Donald Trump offers devotion to Mary, acknowledging her on the feast of the Nativity of the Blessed Virgin Mary. So right now we are seeing where the evangelicals, because Donald Trump is very closely aligned to the evangelicals, and he is now paying homage. Live on that some time ago, you would have seen that it included vaccines. And I trusted my church and I took the vaccine. Right? Um, a lot of people was of the opinion they're not taking that. Right? And now the pandemic is over, and my reason was if they're saying that they're going to eliminate Jamaica, all these different places. The buses in Jamaica is cashless. Now, a lot of businesses in Trinidad is cashless. So, in a few years' time, we are going to be able to implement the Mark of the Beast because much of what we are doing will be cashless. Right? So, my friends, please like, share, subscribe to this channel, Marcus Gonzalez Network. If you like the content here, I'm not saying how brother Marcus trying to do what I have to do for the Lord to spread his word. Okay? So, over and out for now. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. And see you next time. Bye. Blessings. Like the content here, I'm not saying how brother Marcus trying to do what I have to do for the Lord to spread his word. Okay? So over and out for now. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. And see you next time. Bye. Blessings. Again, and she'll be back home. Alright, so that is the news. Yes, and welcome back to the End Time Prophetic News. And we have a lot of articles to look at this evening. Yes, and welcome back to the End Time Prophetic News. And we have a lot of articles to look. Yes, and welcome back to End Time Prophetic News. And we have a lot of articles to look at this evening. So let's jump right into it. Coming up, one time we have Donald Trump offers devotion. Yes, and welcome back to End Time Prophetic News. And we have a lot of articles to look at this evening. So let's jump right into it. Coming up, one time we have Donald Trump offers devotion to Mary, acknowledging her on the feast of the Nativity of the.
about just how much you miss the life that you had before. And no one talks about how much you miss the family that you left behind. And the friends too. And no one talks about how lonely it is. But above all of that, when you finally do see the light of the whole tunnel, it's an amazing journey. And I'm thankful for the entire thing so far. But starting over is a bitch. But a nice one, because she's worth it. So happy 3 years to me. So today is 3 years since I migrated to the US. And let me tell you that it has not been easy. It probably has been one of the hardest things that I had to do. And no one talks about the depression of leaving everything behind and starting something new. No one talks about how scary starting something new really is. And no one talks about how you think that you're going to fail before you don't. And no one talks about just how much you miss the life that you had before. And no one talks about how much you miss the family that you left behind. And the friends too. And no one talks about how lonely it is. But above all of that, when you finally do see the light of the whole tunnel, it's an amazing journey. And I'm thankful for the entire thing so far. But starting over is a bitch. But a nice one, because she's worth it. Today is 3 years since
They're eating the pets.
In 2020,
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. Her dog or her cat is named. We eat them that.
and
Your name.